Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We are here to play with some makeup. I got this idea after creating my fall palettes video. I will link that here if you're interested. I reshared my fall palettes video from last year, but I had this idea to create some fall looks with some of my palettes that I have in my collection. You know, I don't always want to talk about new. I love talking about new makeup. I love getting new makeup. But sometimes I need help digging back into my stash and playing with some makeup products that I already have. So that's what we're going to do today. I am going to pull out some palettes. In my head, I have the idea of doing 3 or 4 looks with 3 or 4 palettes, but I haven't actually filmed them yet. So we will see what this ends up being. But why don't we go ahead? I'm going to zoom you in and we're going to start playing with makeup. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking. I love makeup. I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of the K-Bella fam. Why don't we go ahead and jump into the video. So when I was thinking about fall and fall palettes that I want to play with, makeup that I want to play with in general, of course, I thought about the Nomad Cosmetics Hudson Valley palette. I'm pretty sure this released last year. I have a video creating different looks, so I will link that down below. But this is definitely a very fall themed palette. And I just want to play with it. I haven't played with it in a while. I don't exactly know what I want to do. I am going out to lunch. I mean, I'm filming at 10:40 in the morning, so it's pretty early, but we might do something like Halo Eye-esque. It might be a little dark and vampy because you know what? Who cares? Who cares? But I want to play. So this is the palette that we are going to start off with. I did already prime and set my eyes, and if you're curious about the lips, this lip look is Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude mixed with Barbara from the NARS Audacious line. So I think what I'm going to do first is just get a fluffy brush, and I want to use this shade right here in Cider House. That is one thing that I miss. I'm going to use my EO3 from Singe. That is one thing I miss about the North. I am originally from Michigan, born and raised, but I do currently live in Houston, Texas. We have been here, we are going on year 14. So we've been here for a while, and you know, sadly, cider mills are not a thing down here. And that is something that I miss so much. I talk to Molly all the time about it. My friend Molly, Makeup Molly, she is from Michigan also, but she still lives there. So every fall she's telling me about all of the cider mills she's going to and the donuts and cider. And oh my gosh, I miss it so much. You know, I really wish that I could go back to Michigan every fall. My husband and I have a big trip coming up in November. We are celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary. Our anniversary was in June, so it did already come and go. But with us both being in education, I am a teacher, he is an assistant principal, and he did summer school. So with our schedule, it just made more sense to do a fall trip. So we're going over Thanksgiving break and we're gonna go to Spain. I'm super duper excited about it, but because of that trip, we did not do a fall Michigan trip, although I hope next year to get a fall trip in there. When was the last time I was in Michigan? It might have been when my daughter was very small. When my daughter was, gosh, 5 months old. So back in 2019, fall of 2019, that was probably the last time I was in Michigan. So, you know, we are due for a visit. And I want to hit up those cider mills. But I just went off on a tangent. We don't have time for this to be a chatty get ready with me because I want to play with several palettes. So I need to get to business here. I'm trying to think about what I want to do here. Do I want to go in with the red? Do I want to go in with this shade? What shimmer do I want? Do I want to stick with like the chocolates and caramels? Maybe I'll do that. Let me dip into this shade right here in Great Pumpkin Patch, and I'm using my Singe EO5, and I'm thinking of a halo vibe. So what I'm going to do is kind of focus this on the outer and inner part of my eye. I do have small hooded eyes, so it can be difficult to really get a halo eye going. If I cover up most of my lid, that's okay. I'm still just going to put the shimmer in the middle, but that's my plan, is to leave a little bit on the inner part blank. And this shade right here is a great way to kind of bridge that cider house with whatever deeper shade I want to go into. Then I'm going to stick with the same brush, and I think we're going to stick with like the brown vibes and go into this shade right here, which is Oktoberfest. I don't remember the looks that I created with this palette last year when I filmed my video, but the good news is Oktoberfest looks like I have not dipped into it yet. And we are going to put this, I might just keep Oktoberfest on the outer part of my eye. Typically with a halo eye, whatever you do to the outer part, you would do to the inner part. But because I do have such small hooded eyes, I might just keep it like that. I'm going back in with that first shade, Cider House, and I just want to blend out these edges. I don't want the yellow Cider House to be hidden here, so I just want to blend that out a bit. I will say this side is looking a little patchy and I don't quite know why. So I'm just going to try and work on this side to get it looking nice and even. I think for the lower lash line, I want to bring in this like maroon shade right here in Wine Harvest. And I just want to put this on the outer part of my lower lash line, and then I'm going to blend it out. But I think it'll be fun to bring like the wine shade in, you know? Then I'm going to use my Sigma pencil brush and maybe tie in this orange shade right here. It is called Fall Festival, and we are going to use that to blend out that wine shade. I could have gone in with the Great Pumpkin Patch again. This one is a little bit more orange, so it brings just a different vibe to the lower lash line. I just want all the fall colors, you know what I mean? All of the fall vibes. I also don't mind taking this kind of low because I do have some fine lines and wrinkles going on down here, so I'm just trying to cover everything up, you know what I mean? Then I'm going to go in with my BK203. This is the smaller handle because it is the travel version, and I think I want to go in with this gold shade. I've been marinating on which of these shimmers I wanted to do. I think I want to go in with the gold, and I'm going to put some on my brush and then spray my brush with Fix Plus. This is picking up beautifully. I have found that some of the Nomad shimmers in some of their palettes, like the OK Vingo palette, tend to be a little bit more difficult for me to manipulate. But this palette here, no issues whatsoever. And so this is tying in nicely. I want to keep it just right in the middle here. And so what I'm going to do is use this small brush right here and a little bit of the Great Pumpkin Patch tongue twister, just to kind of still get the depth and dimension on the inner and outer part of my eye while blending the shimmer in place. I may even go in with a little bit more Oktoberfest and just kind of deepen this outer part up right here because I do want it to be a halo eye. I do want to be able to see the depth and dimension here. So here is the finished look here with some mascara. I think it would look beautiful if you're into false lashes, if you threw like a false lash on, or even if you took like a deep black liner and put that in the upper waterline, which I did not do today. I do have small eyes though, so I took like a beige liner and put that in the lower waterline. Here it is right here. Ooh, I forgot an inner corner pop. Okay, so I love an inner corner like pop or shimmer shade. So I'm actually gonna go into the Odin's Eye Little Ghost palette, and I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is in Cobweb. I can't believe I almost forgot my little inner corner pop here. It's like my favorite. So there you have it. It just adds a little something, right? Nothing over here, a little pop over there, like a little twinkle. So I want a little twinkle in my eye. Now, I do not know what other palettes you're going to see in this video yet because this was the first look I created, but why don't we go ahead and jump into the next one. Okay, so for look number 2, for palette number 2, I did not know which of my Natasha Denonas I wanted to go into because both of these feel very fall to me. On the bottom, we have the Retro palette. On the top, we have the My Dream palette. Now, if I was gonna go in with the My Dream palette, I wanted to use this duochrome right here, but I have used that in a look before, so I think what we're gonna do is we are going to focus on the Retro palette. So in the Retro palette, you have a couple options here. You could stick over here with like these autumn bronzy red tones. You could go over here with more of the maroons. I think this is where I'm gonna hang out. You could go a little bit more cool toned. I think we're gonna hang out here in this little section. I did prime my eyes with the Milani primer and I set with Mod from my crease up. So what I want to do now, I have so many like brushes and I just continue to use the same ones over and over again. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my BK201 and I think what I'm going to do is dip into, do I want to do this one or this one? I think we're going to dip into this one right here, which is Nude Mauve. Nude Mauve is one of my favorite shades in this palette. It's just like a go-to, you know? Like it's not brown, but it's not too mauve. It does have a little bit of a cooler undertone, and I feel like it's just the perfect transition shade. I'm trying not to raise my eyebrows like this, like I normally do when I'm doing eyeshadow, but it's very hard. I've always done my eyeshadow like that, but now I have these like deep creases in my forehead, so I don't know how to get out of that habit. I really don't. I don't know if I want to go the Rebellion route, which is a cream to matte, or the Groove route. Rebellion is a bit more red, surprisingly, and Groove is a bit deeper, more of like a purple vibe, so I think we're gonna go with Groove. I'm gonna go in with my Sigma E24 and I'm going to dip into this shade right here in Groove. I'm just going to pick that up on both sides and I want to, whoa, very pigmented, hello. Hello, very pigmented, small, hooded eyes. Interesting combination, but you know what? Okay, note to self, very pigmented, but blends out nicely, so that's good to know. Y'all got to see that in real time when your girl went in with a touch too much. But we're gonna take this out on the outer part, but I do wanna bring what's left in a little bit. I just don't want it to be heavily pigmented on the inside because I think I wanna go in with that swing shade. I could do like the Glitz, which is the lighter, so I think I wanna go in with this one. I was saying maybe Glitz, but I think I'm gonna do Glitz on the inner corner. But let me try and even out the depth here since I went in. Again, I'm scrunching up my forehead and I just don't know how to stop. But if I don't, I just don't have a lot of space to work with. Taking just a touch of that Nude Mauve and I just want to hit up the edges real quick. Then I'm going in with an E57 Firm Shader from Sigma, and I forgot my Fix Plus, so I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to take this shade right here, which is in Swing, and a bit of Fix Plus, and we are going to put that on the lid. We are just going to put this all over the lid, from the inner corner to the outer corner, covering up a little bit of that Groove shade. The two blend nicely. I might leave this little tiny part blank on the inner corner, and we'll put glitz in there also. But I feel like the matte shade that I chose, Groove, and Swing go nicely together. Also, if you hear my son, he's fine. He's living his best life out there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, use the other side to take that glitz shade. Let's try it first without Fix Plus. But you know, like cool, but Fix Plus is going to like make it pop even more, I feel. Okay, so this is with Fix Plus. It'll just give it a little bit more of a pop, and then I'm gonna go in with my finger to put that on the inner corner too, but I want to use a brush just to bring it on the inner part of my lid. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is take this BK209 and I want to go into this nude mauve shade, and I'm going to just pick this up on the tip and run it along my lower lash line. First with the nude mauve, again, quit scrunching your forehead, Kelly. And then I'll probably take a tiny bit of Groove and focus that on the outer part. Same brush, and I'm just going to tap into Groove a little bit and just put that right on the outer edge so that it kind of has this like smoky effect where it's going up into the outer V and then coming underneath the lower lash line as well. And then I'm going to take my pinky and this glitz shade and just pop it right here on the inner corner, and that'll give it a little pop as well. I think what I'm going to do also is I really like this psychedelic shade on the inner corner too. It's a little bit lighter and a little bit more glittery, and since my skin is very fair, I'm just going to brighten up that pop a little bit. Okay, so here is the finished look with some mascara, with some liner in the waterline, and with a lip that I just discovered, and I actually think that I really love it. So I went in with the ABH Raisin Lip Liner, and I thought, what am I going to put on top of it? I thought about flannel, which is a little bit deeper. I thought about my Lunar Beauty Full Fantasy collab with Laura Lee Los Angeles, and then I thought, you know what? Let me try MAC's Blankety, which is a go-to for me. It's a little bit more on the cooler side. I normally pair it with Charlotte Tilbury, but this time we put it with this deep raisin shade, and I kind of love it. It's a monochromatic look. I am into it. This is the final look with the Natasha Denona Retro palette. You know, when I think of fall, our first look was very like orange and fiery and traditional fall colors, but I also do think of like these berries and maroon shades that you have in the Retro palette here. So I wanted to create looks that were very different. I do know that I want to play with the Hocus Pocus Gather Round Sisters collab with Colourpop, the original, because that is definitely very fall vibes for me. So that's going to be our next look, and I don't know if that will be the final look or if we'll squeeze a fourth in there. So let's go ahead and jump into that look. Okay, so I am back, and we are going to do our third and final look for this video using the original Hocus Pocus collab with Colourpop. This is the Gather Round Sisters collab. I do have a full video on this one from when it first came out years ago. And, you know, I feel like this little trio right here is very fall. Of course, I love these very like sparkly deep shades. I love the maroons in here, the red shades. I don't reach for this palette on a day-to-day basis. I really only pull it out in the fall. And I believe one of the looks I created years ago was this trio here, but that's what we're gonna do today. We are going to revisit it today, and this is going to be my final look. But if you do enjoy videos like this one, I'm going to go in with the Sigma E40, and I'm going to start, and we're going to go with this shade right here, which is called On Toast. If you do enjoy, a lot of kickback here. videos like this one where I'm revisiting some other palettes. I don't think I mentioned it in the beginning, but I was inspired by my friend Angie and Yellow Canikvist to kind of pull a couple of my palettes and film a video using all of them. So I'm gonna link her videos down below. She does this a lot of times with new palettes where she'll create a look with several palettes and post it. But she was my inspiration. So if you like this, I would not be doing it with newer palettes, but I would be dipping in to some of my older palettes and creating some looks, like one look with each of those palettes, the way I did with this one. I thought it would be fun to do it for fall since I just talked about fall palettes. I thought it would be fun to bring them out and kind of see, you know, my fall palettes of the past and what looks I wanted to create. So if you do enjoy videos like this, just thumbs this up, let me know, and if there are any palettes that you would want to see, let me know also below. Okay, I'm going to go in with my Angie Hot and Flashy A502 from BK Beauty, and I'm going to go into this green shade right here in Bewitched. And my plan is to start by putting that in the outer corner, but I do want to drag it into the crease. I need to wash my brushes in the worst way, but I do want this to go in the crease underneath that brown shade. However, I have small eyes. I've said this a million times, so I don't want to drag the majority of the color into my crease. I just want to kind of stamp it and then pull in what's left over on the brush. So I think what I want to do, just for fun and because I don't think I did it last time I used these three shades, is I do want to tap into this black. This is called, I call it a bus. I'm going to use the same brush and tap it off because I am getting quite a bit of kickback, and I just want to tap it into the outer depths here. I don't want it to like take the place of the green. I'm not dragging it in. I just want to get it right here to create a little depth. And then what I think I'll do is I'll do that on both sides, and then I'm going to clean off my brush on my Sigma switch and go back in with the green to make sure that black is not overpowering it. I can tell you when I do put this black on my lid right here, I'm not really seeing any sparkle or shimmer. So if you were hoping, I was kind of hoping to have the shimmer in there because I think that it's fun, but I think when I tap off my brush, I'm probably tapping off the majority of the sparkle. Perhaps if you use a packing brush and don't tap off and put it on the lid, like for a smoky eye, you may get some of the sparkle, but for me, I'm not seeing any. So if that's what you were hoping for, you may be a little disappointed there, because looking at this shadow, it is very sparkly and like multi-dimensional, and I think it would be really fun. Okay, I'm literally just cleaning this brush off on my Sigma switch, and I'm going to lightly tap, nothing on there, lightly tap into the green shade and just kind of try and make sure that it's still showing here. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is I just wanna blend the edges a little bit, but this shade is a little dark, so I wanna tap into On Toast and a touch into that Full Moon, which is lighter, and I feel like it's going to kind of create a lighter brown, and I just wanna go over these edges. I don't want it to be too harsh, but I wanna blend out those edges. Okay, so then I need to clean off one of my trusty BK203 lid brushes, and I think what I'm going to do is take Yabos and put that on probably 2/3 of the lid, but I want to save a little bit of room because I think I want to put Wench kind of on the inner part. So that's my plan. I am going to spray my brush with Fix Plus. I don't remember when I first used this if I got a ton of fallout, but I am getting like a lot of kickback in the pan. However, this palette is several years old at this point because each year they've kind of come out with a new Hocus Pocus collab. This shimmer shade is still beautiful though. I'm gonna put it, like focus it kind of in the middle and drag it a little bit over that black shade. I'm gonna take it up into the crease and save a tiny bit of the inner corner for Wench. That's pretty over the black, like the green with a black base. It's pretty. Okay, so then I need to clean off my Singe EO1. This one's great for like detail work on the like inner parts of my eye. And I do want to go into this Silver Wench shade. I don't remember using this shade. But what I'm gonna do is put some on the brush and tap a little bit off, spray it, and put it on the inner part of my eye. I'm just going to press it right here, and that's the shade I will drag down in a moment with my finger to put on the inner corner. So I think it's cool with like the black shade, the green, the silver. I think what I'm gonna do for the lower lash line is I want to clean off one of my dirty pencil brushes from Sigma. And I'm first going to go into Hello Salem and kind of use that all over, excuse me, the lower lash line because this shade is a little bit lighter. And then I'll take the green, which was Bewitched, and focus that on the outer part of my eye. I'm taking the same brush and just dipping into Bewitched. And I just want to focus this on the outer part of my eye. I don't think I'm going to drag the black underneath. I just want a touch of that green, which is looking dark enough, but just to kind of mirror what's happening on the top. Then I'm going to take Wench right here and my finger just to make that inner corner pop a bit more. Ooh, that is very bright, very bright. Especially when you apply it with your finger. Okay, here's what it's looking like so far. Let me go ahead and finish getting ready and I will show you the finished look. Okay, so here is the final look with some mascara. I did like a beige liner on my lower lash line, but this would look super cute with some falsies or even tight lining with black liner on the top. I tried to fix my hair a little bit. I went in with a like My Lips But Better combo. This is from Colourpop. I actually got this when I went to Charleston on the Creators and Friends trip. It is the Lippy Pencil and Lippy Stick, both in O Snap, which truly are like My Lips But Better. But this is the third look. This was with the Colourpop Gather Round Sisters collab, the Hocus Pocus collab. Let's go ahead and zoom out and finish up the video. Okay friends, but that is going to do it for this video. I just thought it would be fun to create 3 very different eye looks. So we have like fall inspired leaves with the orange and the red and the yellow in the first look with the Nomad Hudson Valley palette. With the second look, the retro palette, we went very much like more of the berries and maroons. And then of course, I feel like traditional green for the fall as well with the Colourpop palette. But again, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you want some more like it. Like I said, I'm gonna have Angie's video listed down below because I know I initially saw her create multiple different looks with multiple different palettes, and so I was inspired to do it based on her videos. So that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Bye.